Welcome to the first episode of Lattes and Leaders. The vision for this podcast is to highlight young professionals here in Indianapolis who are doing amazing things in their particular industries. This podcast is not for the person who has it all figured out, but it's more the ones that are in the thick of it and really finding success in their industry by doing the right things, being dedicated and motivated in their craft, pursuing excellence at a young age. We want to highlight those people. We want to talk to them. We want to glean some wisdom because Indiana right now is positioned to be in an amazing spot for this next generation. And there's people all around you who are doing this. And so we're going to talk to him. Our first guest is Nick Ireland, and he is a perfect example of what I am talking about. He's a real estate agent. He's been in the real estate world for about 2 years now and has already found amazing success. He got Berkshire Hathaway Rookie of the Year. Just to show you a glimmer, he has started networking groups called Hive, which is awesome and it's exploding around the town. And his energy, his dedication, and his excellence to the craft is something that we can take from. We're also hopefully going to talk about misconceptions as a real estate agent and the home buying process here in the current market. But I hope that it's just going to be an amazing conversation, and I can't wait for you to join us. So thank you for watching the first episode of Lattes and Leaders. Berkshire Hathaway Rookie of the Year, dude. I'm sitting down with him.
That's right, man.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I'll probably do an intro to you before this podcast so people know who you are, of what you're doing. But I mean, my vision for this podcast is to highlight young guys, young people who are coming up in all kinds of different industries that maybe don't have it completely figured out. I think that's like kind of the nervousness of I have to have it all figured out in my 20s or something. And it's just not the case. But it's people who are building the right habits, making the right networks, making the right moves, and they're seeing success when they do the right things. And getting to talk through that process, getting to talk through like what you're doing in your particular industry, why you're passionate about it. And so that is the vision. And I'm glad that you were my first guest. I
love it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And so if you guys just want game, if you want like just business talk, you could skip a little bit ahead. But I love hearing about people's background. I always have. How did you get to the place? How did you become the man that you are sitting here, right? And so let's talk a little bit about that. You don't have to go into super depth about your background, but just some highlights that you think are notable. And you like that coffee?
Dude, yeah. I mean, if it's the brand, lattes and loans, lattes and leaders, I'm a fan.
Sweet.
So, yeah, dude, I've always been social, out and about, doing my thing, found it really easy to connect with people, make friends, build relationships. But I'm I went to school to be a doctor. Graduated high school, 10th in my class, understood school, but hated it. So I'm the guy that never studied, all this stuff. Finally start college. I'm okay, I kind of need to study. So I do that. And then COVID screws up my college right in the middle of it. And I was okay, fine, but I go back, we're all wearing masks, just not worth it for me to continue on that. So kind of do it backwards. Most people would start at Ivy Tech, go to a school after. My mom worked at Ivy Tech, so I go there after Ball State. Let's just get in, get an associate's, get out. Did that for free, and then started working any kind of odd and end customer service relationship job that I could find. Finally land at a steakhouse, waiting tables. This is fun. Start working on a real estate class. Always thought about it. One thing led to another, one connection led to another. And I find myself out of Muncie, Indiana, down in Carmel, on the Holmesville Style team. So, I mean, that's the summed up version with a little bit of background to kind of where I got.
Yeah. Doctor to a real estate agent. So
Thank God I'm not a doctor, dude. Anybody that's watching this, I am the last person that you would want being your orthopedic surgeon. And that's what I had a goal to do. So
where'd you find that at? It was a TV show that you just really looked up to, some random.
To be a doctor?
Yeah. Guy that you saw pull up in a Ferrari and he was I'm a doctor. You're that's me.
I'm smart. I do well in school. I want to make a lot of money. So let's just go be a doctor. And I'm very glad it didn't work out.
Yeah. And you talked about kind of stumbling into real estate, that you'd always thought about it. Was there anything in that realm? Why was real estate agent at the top of mind? Just the freedom of it.
Yeah.
Still making money. It sounds like it kind of motivates you a little bit. But.
Yep. Definitely money and success motivated. But also freedom motivated. So if I want to go on vacation, I go on vacation. But that's not to say that while I'm on vacation, I'm not going to work. The laptop's always with me. I just kind of like that dynamic. Like if I need showings done or whatever, it's a phone call. I pay somebody to do it, but I can go enjoy my life as well. And I just see that compared to the jobs that I had before where like I'm tied down to a schedule. Somebody's telling me when I can eat. Somebody's telling me when I can leave, show up. And I'm not saying I don't show up and leave on a routine, but you know, if I've got something to do, I can go do it.
Yep.
I like not having to ask permission from a boss. And I mean, just finding my own sense of like self-discipline in that workplace has been, I don't know, gratifying.
Yeah. I know you haven't been in the industry super long yet, but if you could impart some words of wisdom, say that there is a guy that was just like you who's getting out of Ball State, who doesn't want to be a doctor, but they want to do real estate. Walk us through kind of what are their steps to becoming a real estate agent? So the bar is kind of low. That's what it's like a running joke, but once you get in it, it's a completely different ballgame. But walk us through, I want to become a real estate agent and then actually kind of becoming more successful at it. Yep. Do's, don'ts. If you're this way, you're probably not going to do super well. But if you are this way, it could be a really great career for you. Kind of walk us through. You had the epiphany, you go and pursue it, and now you're excelling at it.
Yeah.
What did all those steps look like?
I mean, you've got to be comfortable sitting through a boring class full of information that you're probably never going to use. Step one. Step two, you got to pass a couple tests, right, about all that information. Took me 3 times. Like, you've got to have that perseverance to keep going until you pass. I think one of the biggest things is making sure that, like, on the new agent side, you go into it like, I'm interviewing the broker that I want to work for. The broker's not interviewing you. You're not going to be an employee. Like, you're representing their name, so you have to find the brand that you feel like you identify with the most. That, to me, is probably some of the best advice because you've got to get an environment that supports you. Berkshire Hathaway is where I landed. I'm not going anywhere. Second to that is, like, I tell everybody that asks me, I have people ask me, like, younger guys, girls, all the time. Like, hey, we see what you're doing. Like, I would love to get into real estate. Like, would you? Like, you know, people see the posts, people see like, oh, you're a real estate agent. That's great. Like, you're doing X, Y, and Z. People don't see like the months where I don't have a closing. They don't see the months or the phone calls where like it's not going anywhere. They don't see the open houses I'm doing where no people come through, but they see me posting it. Like, wow, that's a great house. So this is me saying like, yeah, there's times when I'm like not super busy, but I'm posting like I am. And that's where, like, I think it loses a lot of people. Like, that kind of grind is what weeds people out. So I tell everybody, like, this is hard. Like, you've got to work without pay. So rookie of the year last year. But for 2024, I didn't close my first deal until July 27th. So from July 27th to the end of the year, I did just under $6 million. So, like, somebody that can work from January 1 to really October 2023 when I first started to July of the following year with zero income. Do that, and then you can be a successful real estate agent.
What did you like? I'm sure if you had good mentors, maybe the person who you're on their team now, they talked you through what it really means. Like that's a real thing. It's like that on the loan officer side too. But what did they prepare you with? Like, did you have a runway? Did you like keep a second job? And like, how did that go? Like, do you recommend that, or do you just burn the boats and go for it? But yeah, what did that person tell you to like, hey, buckle down for the next 6 months? And how did you prepare yourself for that?
So when I first started, like I said, I was waiting tables, and I kept waiting tables. Let's see, I started in October 2023, and I didn't stop waiting tables until February 2025. I love the idea of having something on the side that's flexible. So my mindset waiting tables was, okay, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Even now that I'm not doing that anymore, I've not had a deal like make or break on a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Find something you can do in your free time. Like, you know, I'm not saying go work a 40-hour-a-week job and then try to do real estate too, because you're going to be very frustrated at how that works out. Some people do it, great, but I've got goals that are a little bit bigger than what that would allow for. On my team now, it's kind of funny because what they did, like my team lead, Justin, he had a $1.3 million open house in Chatham Hills. And I am fresh out of Muncie, like just moved down here. He's like, hey, Nick, do this open house. All right. Dude, I went in there. These people that came through that open house are probably like, who is this guy? Like, how did this guy get a real estate license? And Justin, I still laugh about it today. He's like, yeah, I just kind of threw you into the fire, dude. Like, you had to learn. And that kind of made me realize, like, okay, there's some back end that I need to work on now. And, you know, through that, like, that's kind of helped me get to the point where, yeah, I don't have to have the side hustle, but if I never learned, like, real quick that I had to be very knowledgeable in the industry, then I'd probably still be waiting tables.
No, I love what you said there. So knowing the craft, I'm really big on, if you're going to pursue something, be excellent at it. Yeah. And you talked about there, the back end of stuff. What are some things that people don't know about real estate? Like, they think you're just posting. We're going to get to your social media, by the way. But they think it's just like posting on social media, doing a cute house tour or something. Yeah. Yours are cute. Yours are epic. So that's what I want to talk about. But just like this epic house tour, and you kind of just like walk through it, look good, and be like granite countertops. But to actually know, like the people who are actually really good at being a real estate agent, they know way more than you like would maybe perceive that a real estate agent would do. So what are some of those back end stuff that kind of start to separate you from just like the person who got the real estate license and could care less about it, just like does it for Instagram?
Yep. I think a lot of people want to be that influencer real estate agent. Like, yeah, I want to do it too, but I want to actually be able to service my clients and not just be the face of some real estate brand. Like, I've got to know what I'm doing and how to be good at it. So when I go into something, like, not necessarily for just a video, but let's say you want to list your property, I'm going to bring you a leather binder full of how my process works, how our team's process works, what our numbers are, testimonials from past clients, so that you can see in front of you. Like, you don't have to take my word for it. You can take theirs. You can look at our proven processes. And then when it comes to your actual house, like, I'm going to bring comps. I'm going to make notes. I'm going to show you, we can price in this range. Here's why. Here's, what you've got maybe to your advantage or to your disadvantage based on what's sold around you. One of the biggest deals I've had like 0 comps. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, how do I work through this? So then I go back even more, run through my same process again, just a little bit more in depth. And like, I'm not going to bore the viewers here on how to get into that on a property with no comps. But we priced it and got an accepted offer in 7 days. So, we're working through that right now, all good. But that's one of those things that, like, a good agent's going to know how to do stuff like that. An agent that maybe doesn't know how to price, like, that's when you're seeing listings that are sitting, things that, like, if you tell me that you think your house is worth something higher than the numbers I'm putting in front of you, that's why I'm bringing them, because I'm going to probably go back at you with that. And, if there's an influencer I like who's in real estate, I don't remember his name. He talked about it. He's like, don't take an overpriced listing. That client that wants way too much for their house, that reflects on you when other people see that your name is associated with it. Even if it's not you pricing the house that way, it's the client. Nobody knows that. So being able to navigate conversations like those, negotiate, like, that's what's setting the Instagram model real estate agent apart from the high producer real estate agent. Yeah.
I'll even give you an example of this. Like, I think sometimes it sounds like real estate agents don't want to give kind of like that bad news, but then it hurts both of you because the expectations aren't set. Everyone's just trying to be in like a good mood and think that you could shoot for the moon and get whatever you want for the house, but not necessarily how it works. But it takes a really good agent to actually go through those expectations, to work through the real numbers, and then it's actually going to sell probably than if we just go with what your gut feeling is about how much my house is. Like,
yep.
But there is literally in my neighborhood, there's this townhome that's been sitting on the market for, I don't know, 3 months. In the first week it was up, it's had like 3 real estate agents at this point. But the first week it was up, I looked at the listing and I was like, that's too high. It's like, it's not going to be worth that much. And they've gone through 3 different real estate agents and have kept it right at the same price. And it was just like, if they maybe were honest with them or fought back with them. But now that agent looks bad because they potentially got fired, right? And like, everyone can see it going by. You could see the names change. And then now you have a listing that's been on for months and it doesn't look good on your house and it doesn't look good on the agent.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's what separates good agents.
It's one of those things where, like, and this is from like maybe a client perspective, you've been through 3 agents, you're not getting the house sold. maybe it's not your agent. Like, common denominator here is you listing your house for the same price 3 times. And that's where being an agent coming in and saying, like, having that exact conversation with the client and saying, like, let's take emotion out of this and look at, you've been through, if I'm the third, you've been through 2 other agents, you haven't adjusted your price. Like, where's your mind at right now in wanting to just keep it there? It's not a marketing thing. Everybody's looking on Zillow. It's not your photos. Like, it might be your price, unfortunately. I've seen people be in situations where they have to get a certain price to like break even, whatever. It could, those situations happen, but in something like that where they've been through 3 people, I'd be curious to see the inside of it.
Yeah. And that's what happens. But so going on, your social media is incredible. Your relationship with your videographer, your editor, I love it. But yeah, what has been your approach? It's obviously such a key component of this industry, of just anyone starting out probably at our age. You have to navigate social media of some sort. But what has been your philosophy? I'd say it's amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. That's great. One of the reasons I set up our first meeting with you is because, like, you reached out to me and I looked at your page and I was like, damn, like, this guy's on the same social media thing that I want to be. So, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, sitting at the back porch of my mom's house, and when I would get bored or just chill, like, I would watch luxury home tours, and I'm doing it, like, sitting there watching it with my sister, and she goes like, you could do that. Like, you remind me of the guy in the video. And I was like, Zane has a camera and like he does this for a living and I do the real estate side for a living. Like, why couldn't I do that? And it's been so funny to see. And I think where maybe people get into this and stop, it's like, dude, it's hard to be on camera. And like, you probably get it. Like, what you post is not like all the takes you're doing, right? Like, dude, if you go watch the first video that's on my page, you're going to be like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Compared to the last one. So I've seen views go up, engagement go up. I've gotten a lot more comfortable on a camera, but that's what I think people don't realize is there's a lot that goes into it. And a lot of it's confidence. Like, you got to be yourself and talk and not try to be this like, hi, I'm Nick. This house behind me is 3 beds, 2 baths. You got to be like, hey, for under 700,000, you can have this. Like, look at this badass house. Like, you got to be yourself on camera and not try to be, I don't know, just so like robotic.
Posturing or But yeah, it's so funny. Like, I've been in social media for a while and everyone thinks they could just like walk in front of a camera and just like turn it on and be like, it's not that hard. Like, it's not that hard to be an influencer, like whatever it might be. No, it's really hard. And sometimes you're just sitting there staring at the camera and just like nothing can come out right. But you just keep going, you just keep trucking through it. But it's hard. It's hard to be good at it. Anyone could just like kind of face it and ramble and talk, but to like captivate people, to stop the scroll, it's a completely different ballgame.
People scroll now like crazy. Like, if you can take people out of their short attention spans, like, good for you. Yeah. And you have to have good content. You have to have good hooks. You have to have a good, high quality cameras, video that you're posting. Otherwise, you're going to lose people. Yeah. I mean, they're going to go look at the next reel, next TikTok, whatever it might be. How many takes, like, do you think it takes you to get something down? Like, are you to the point where it's like 1 to 2, like, done?
Depends on the complexity of it. Depends on like how much I know the subject. If I know the subject like super well, then it's not too bad, probably 1 to 2. But if it's something that I have to like kind of teach myself and like it's hard to articulate, like it's kind of a deeper subject, then man, I mean 7, like you can go 7 times and just be like, like I can't say it right. And you're just like staring into the abyss. But you've obviously like it's a high caliber. And you haven't even been in the industry, a couple years now, and you decided to invest in marketing, invest in the higher kind of value instead of just like going kind of the base with the iPhone. Why'd you decide to do that?
So there's a business owner locally in Indianapolis, and she said, you can go on any real estate agent's page and you can see a house. You can see the cookie cutter marketing, just the pre-put together, just insert house pictures, sold, just listed, whatever. You can do that, but it's not everywhere that you're going to see an agent's personality. You're not going to see their face all the time. And like you said, you can do it with the phone. And there are people out there that are successful at doing that. I just think that higher quality video represents the brand that I'm building at the moment. Like, I want that to, I want the quality of my video to represent the quality of my brand and my service and what I'm bringing to the table. So that's a big reason why I'm investing in marketing so much. The other side of it is I think social media is the new like postcard mail. Like, yeah, snail mail is great. Like, we'll market neighborhoods with postcards, but where else are you going to get 10,000 eyes on your face, your page, your listing? Nowhere except social media. And you're not going to get 10,000, 20,000 unless you're good at it. So that's kind of my mindset into what's going into my marketing at the moment. I've got a couple other things coming, like people I've talked to marketing wise, where you'll be seeing my face a little bit more often.
Nice.
So that's coming soon.
Yeah. You talked about where you want to see yourself or your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Like what kind of book of business do you want? What kind of listings do you want? Like where do you see this going?
Man, I feel like the mentor that my team lead I'm working under is setting the best example for me to have my sights set forward. Since I joined a team, like I was on my own in Muncie before I moved down. Then I joined a team and realized that you could have a team. I was like, okay, let's do it. So my 5-year plan is to have a successful real estate team. And what that looks like to me is essentially a copy paste with, my own twist on it of the team I'm on now. But I want to be the team lead, build a successful team under me where I'm taking mostly luxury listings, bigger stuff. And, like any referral business that comes in, if you send me a first-time home buyer looking at an average price point, of course I'm taking that. Have a team under me that's just backing me up where I'm backing them up as well, being able to lead them. And that's my 5-year plan, is in 5 years, I will have the Ireland Group. We are going to be a successful real estate team in Hamilton County and be able to service anything from 150,000 to 5 million, like, and up. Jim Irsay, 12 million. Like, I want that listing. You know what I mean? So, beyond that, my 5-year plan thrown in there a little bit is to have the best business development group for young entrepreneurs in the country.
So you do see yourself in the more luxury market, but you want to help everyone. So is there a particular side of town you want to be on?
Hamilton County. Everybody wants to be in Hamilton County. I'm just going to build the same style of brand that I'm representing currently on my team and build my own team out of it. And I think with the mentorship that I have, I'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, but you said 5-year plan. Like, what's yours?
Oh, shoot. I would say that I just want to be one of the best loan officers in the state, maybe even in the country. I want to add a spin to the loan officer world that I don't think is there. I think there's a young flair of social media. Thanks for the social media comment. But that it's a relatively like older industry and there's a lot of set rules. I think real estate agents, they're doing amazing with some of the new tools and AI and social media, but the loan officer world is just so kind of far behind, I would say. And I want to be a part of the generation and a part of the loan officers that kind of catch back up. And also I want the American dream to stay alive. Like I'm so passionate about our generation being able to take the mantle. There's a lot of, just stats about men and the younger generation not like somewhat being left behind and losing hope in that. And we have just horrible things happening that I don't want to say, but like it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of hope in the generation. And I think home ownership is like one of those things where we should have hope that we as young Americans can own a home one day and be successful and have good families. And to have that in your 20s just completely be taken away from you, like it's a terrible feeling. And I think Indiana, more specifically, is just in such a great spot to continue to succeed for younger people. And as a loan officer, I just want to see people's dreams come true, people getting houses, and the American dream to stay like alive and not to lose that. So I'd say that would be but I would love to have a team. I don't know, like I don't know where MJW will go, but if I could have like my own branch, my own side of town, my own team, that I see that leadership quality. I want to kind of lead people underneath me. First, I want to figure it out and become the best loan officer in the state and then take on that. But
I mean, you said it, like the leadership quality is there. You have it. I've got it. We know we want to be leaders. We can be leaders. but we want to kind of master the craft first.
Yep.
And then start leading other people to do it the same, but be a dynamic leader where they don't feel like they're following or being left behind. They feel like they're being supported by somebody who's ahead of them who can help them grow and succeed. And that's where I see myself, the role I see myself, and I think you're probably the same.
Yep.
You said something in there too, though, that like Indiana's a great spot to be.
Yeah.
It is such an underrated place, like the Midwest in general. I mean, we're a 5-minute drive from the number 2 place to live in the country.
Yeah.
And
Insane.
I think not enough people like really realize what that means. Like think about out of all 50 states, every other state has their version of Carmel, but Carmel, Indiana, like is the number 2 spot in the country.
I try to remind my wife of that all the time. I'm like, we are literally living in the number 2 spot. That's probably like, I mean, top 10 in the world then, right? Like if it's number 2 in the United States, like that's insane. And I forget it sometimes, honestly.
Yeah. Anybody that takes a walk through Midtown and, you know, especially like drive through West Carmel.
Yeah. West Clay and stuff. It's insane.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like that's, I don't really need to leave here. And I see one of my biggest things that I keep reminding myself of is like, everybody goes on Instagram. You see these people like, leave your hometown, move to Miami, start a business, do this. I'm like, you could just leave your hometown, move to one of the wealthiest places in your state, and you're going to see the same success, the same environment. Like maybe not to the level that like Miami is, but Carmel, Indiana, like there's success there.
Yep. You could do totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, like we're real estate professionals. We have to talk about it. The market. So obviously rookie of the year, 6 million in 6 months, probably still doing just as great in 2025. What are some misconceptions for real estate agents? Maybe it's just bad mentalities, but like try to encourage younger real estate agents that it's not that bad if you put in the work. And then home buyers, like what are misconceptions about the market right now that you maybe have overcome or just don't see?
One of the big things I think on the agent side is just like having that perseverance. Like there are buyers and sellers out there, but are you actually working hard enough to get it? You can complain about rates. You can talk about rates if you want. Buyers can complain about rates. Agents can complain about rates. I think the biggest mindset thing to have in this market is stop finding stuff to complain about. There are buyers out there. There's enough business to go around. People are closing deals. Like I've got $1.2 million closing next week. Why aren't we like focused on people who are closing and less on like why you can't find business and more on like we need to focus on reasons why you can is my thing. As a buyer, I mean, I think having a good agent, like call me, but as a buyer, you go into transactions, like ask your agent the questions that need to be asked about the house. If it's been on the market for a while and your agent's giving you something that makes you feel like maybe we have some room to work here, like ask questions and really, like, I'm not saying quiz them, like they're a professional obviously, but like see your value in your agent, you know, ask the right questions, navigate the transaction. But I've had buyers before that just set unrealistic expectations for themselves and don't enjoy it to dial that back into a realistic spot. So if you're going to buy a house, like we had just had a meeting in our office yesterday about this. We had contractors and an inspection company there, and common misconceptions are with inspections most of the time. You know, the toilet that's wobbly, like probably not a good idea to make your deal like make or break on that little thing. Our meeting was all about that. Like what percentage of deals didn't close because of inspection. And I bet I know it's way lower than what everybody in our office guessed. Same thing with insurance, like make sure as a buyer that you're getting insurance ASAP. That line on a purchase agreement, go get your homeowner's insurance because they're going to ask you different questions. And that is a big deal to the offer. So market-wise, as a buyer, just make sure you have a good agent. Make sure that you kind of reel in your expectations. Like you're not going to be able to offer 50 grand under list and get a house. No shot. Maybe you can negotiate a little bit though. Make creative offers. That's kind of my advice to a buyer. And as an agent, just there are deals out there. I'm not your competition, like I am, but my mindset is that there's enough for everybody. My clients are my clients because I'm Nick, not because I'm a random real estate agent, and your clients are your clients because you're whoever. Like, I'm not trying to steal your people. I don't want to steal your people, but ask for referrals. Like, those are your people. They're using you for a reason. If you feel confident in what you're doing, ask them who else they might know. You never know what kind of doors that can open. And if you're an agent watching this, you have nothing going on, ask everybody in your office for an open house. Saturday and Sunday this weekend, I'll be at one. You'll be at one as well with me. Like, that's my advice to everybody, is just find ways to be busy.
Yep. Amen. Yeah.
Sorry, I rambled, but
no, that encouraged me, dude. So I can attest to the networking aspect of it. So you are a networker. You are someone who builds up people around you. And I've seen this time and time again in person. So let's talk about Hive. This is a networking group that you want to start in different pockets of the state, which I really appreciate. What is your vision? What is going on with that?
Yeah. Hive is something that I started because a friend of mine and I went to a couple different networking things early. Like, when I first moved here, my team lead was like, okay, time to go meet as many people as possible. Like, all right, bet. Like, no big deal. Then I go and they're all saturated or super expensive. And so my friend and I are sitting there, we're like, dude, we could just start one. So it kind of started with a little group of us together, and then I've kind of taken it and ran with it a little bit as far as like having a bigger vision to expand, take over the state, get out of the state's borders. But what it is, and you can call it a networking group. Overall, that's what it is. I like to say we're more focused on like business development than we are networking. And the only reason I say that is because we're not just showing up, shaking everybody's hand. What do you do? Like, well, I'm a real estate agent. What do you do? You're a loan officer. Great. We have speakers that come in who are bigger names. Like, it's focused on young entrepreneurs, but I bring in people that have been in their industry 20, 30, 40 years, are very successful, come and speak to all of us every single month. So I'm not killing you with a weekly meeting. I ask for an hour and a half a month to show up and get some knowledge. So on top of having a speaker from outside come in, we have member speakers as well. So if you're really good at marketing, so why don't you do a marketing presentation, or why don't you present on MJW and why you're better than everywhere else and why everybody in that group should be using you, even though they should be because they're in Hive, but like, if they weren't, why should they? Why should they go tell their friends about you? We also have, so I did some research and I realized at our meetings, like, dude, the amount of men and women in the room, there's such a disparity there. It's like, how do we fix this? Like, all the girls just sat at this table by themselves and it was just dudes lined up along the other side of the room. I'm like, okay, there's got to be like numbers on this. So I look it up, I research it a little bit, and men outnumber women in business 22-1. I saw it for myself in that room. Like, there's a lot of men and not a lot of women. So I'm like, how do we balance this out? So I talked to a couple of the girls in our group, said, hey, let's do something here. Like, let's incentivize bringing in more women, and supporting women-focused businesses. So we started Hive of Her. That's our
nice.
Yeah, like decent play on words. I didn't come up with it. They did, so good for them. But that is a little bit more of a social focus group. Just the logistics of everything, like how it works, is like you show up to a main group every month. That's Hive meetings. And then let's say, you've got Hive in Carmel, I've got a Hive in Fishers. The women from every single group get invited to Hive of Her once a month. And those are social, just more like engagement focused and less networking, business development focused, where they've done a winery, they've done breweries, like they go sit and just talk and have fun. And whether it's drinking or just chilling or relaxing, like whatever the focus is, it's always a social aspect where they're just like, okay, there are more women in business than we thought.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I don't know personally, but I would guess that as a woman, you might see that disparity as well. If a woman shows up to a networking event, it's probably full of dudes too. Coming to something like this, when it's exclusive to women, like, you're surrounded by like-minded people, And I think that so far it's at least been extremely successful. Like every single woman in that group has good feedback for us, and it's grown. We've seen consistent growth every month. It started with 4 people. I'm up to almost 30 in my current group, and I've got a list of almost 20 to start a couple others. So, people can follow along, just kind of track the progress of that. But my goal is to be statewide, nationwide eventually.
Heck yeah. How do people get involved? Is there like social media, websites, and then the specific her one? Is there a leader that the girls can contact to get involved in that one?
There are 2 Instagrams. So there's an Instagram for Hive itself, which is Indie Hive, just all one word, lowercase Indie Hive. If you follow it, there are no posts. It's very early in this. I'm still rolling it out, launching it, doing my thing. But like I'm excited for what we have kind of in the works. So you can follow that just to kind of keep in touch. If it's something that a young entrepreneur is interested in, I highly recommend it. I've gotten great feedback on it so far. For the women's group, Hive of Her on Instagram, and then contact points. Anybody that would be interested on it and just a membership level in general, you can contact me. There are a couple girls that are running the Hive of Her on their own. You can always DM the page. Like that's it. It actually is a managed page. We just are kind of in the process of getting that content out there. But the women that are actually in charge of it, one's my sister, which is very easy. Her name's Sophia Ireland on Instagram, Hair by Sophia Ireland. She does hair, does a great job. She's responsible for the flow I've got going today. The other one is Sydney Ott. She's actually another lender at Ruoff. She's kind of helping, build that women's group as well. So either one of them to contact as a woman in business trying to get involved in something like this. They're great contacts. And then myself just for general membership. I'm
going to do some rapid fire questions for the end here. And then going forward, have you ever watched Diary of a CEO? No. With Stephen Bartlett. No, okay. Anyways, at the end of his episode, he does somewhat like the previous guest ask a question, but they don't know who they're leaving it for. So you're gonna leave a question for the next guest, and they don't know. But you would have had a question if you were the second guest. But you're the first guest.
You're gonna let me sit here and think of a question?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it can be as deep as you want. It can be as funny as you want. But they won't know who it was that wrote it or anything like that. And you won't know who you're writing it for. It's just like an open, deep question for a young leader who's really good at their craft. That's probably in the thick of it. That is, yeah. So you could ask as deep as you want.
I've got it.
Okay. It doesn't have to be on camera. We're gonna write it. So, but some rapid fire. So if you have a free weekend, are you staying in or are you going on a spontaneous trip?
Free weekend. Oh man. Honestly, I'm probably staying in. Like I might hit up like Ale Emporium.
Yep.
I'm gonna go out to eat probably, and then hit the gym, just get outside, play golf. Like I'm a little bit more of a homebody. I work all the time, so when I have a chance to sit at home with my dog and cats, like I'm gonna do that.
Yep. Do you prefer a good movie or a good book?
Man, see, I can make a case for both.
It's rapid fire.
Yeah, if I want to learn something, I'm going book.
Okay. What's your favorite book?
So there's 2 that I recommend to pretty much anybody, especially in the business world. Like if you want to start getting into self-development books, The Go-Giver and Atomic Habits. Both of those will change your life, change your perspective, change the way that you just operate on a day-to-day basis, and then change the way that you interact with people on a day-to-day basis. The Go-Giver, Atomic Habits.
Sweet. This one's a hard one, but one quote that has always stuck with you.
One day or day one. Like a little bit of backstory with it, like real quick, because I know it's rapid fire. Just, I think people are too afraid to fail before they succeed. So you have to look at it as you're either going to say one day, or it's day one, I'm going to suck at this. But it's day one. Imagine day 30, day 40, day 100, day 300. You're probably going to get better. But you have to be comfortable sucking at something before you get great.
One day or day one? I've actually never heard that, but I like it. I like it a lot. Are you a foodie, a coffee connoisseur, or an experienced junkie?
Foodie all day long.
Foodie.
Love trying new spots, like all the time.
Okay, name one.
One new place I've tried, just want something good.
Yeah, my next question is underrated place in Indy, but you can go with a food place and then you can go underrated. So what's like a food spot that maybe you've been to in the past month? If you're going to a lot of spots, it might not.
Yeah, I mean, my go-to is District Tap. Like, I feel like it's kind of a staple for like this area. District Tap is so good, but every place I go, I'm getting a buffalo chicken wrap. Everywhere I go.
Dude, we're so similar. Like, I don't experiment too often. Like, I like going to a nice restaurant. My wife's a foodie, but I get the same things every time. And if the buffalo chicken wrap is on there, it's me all day.
That's what I order.
Dude,
King Jug and Fisher's has a great one.
I'm going to get my haircut like that tomorrow. Just might as well finish it off.
Yeah, King Jug has a great buffalo chicken wrap. District Tap. Those are probably the two best around here that I've had.
Okay.
But yeah, I get one every single place I go. That's so funny. Dude.
That is so funny. Okay, underrated place if it's different.
I really don't even have an underrated place that I've tried. Like I kind of try mainstream spots, honestly.
Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll be keeping along with your success. Like as we said, this is not for the people who have just like they're making millions already and stuff. It's the people that are in the process of doing the right things and cultivating it. And so honored to have you on as my first guest, man. But
yeah, dude, I appreciate this. This is for people that are kind of in the thick of it right now as a younger person that wants to make it. I feel like I'm making the right decisions to get there. So I appreciate you seeing me as somebody that's valuable to have on here. But I also want one more thing. We got to check in another like a year from now. We got to do this again. If you commit to it, I'll commit to it. We'll track the progress this way.
Once a year, hold each other accountable. The podcast can hold us accountable to my number one. I'm not doing this with everyone, but I'll do it with my number one podcast.
The number one. I'm gonna check in. You'll check in. We'll run this back.
Yeah, and then when we fail or when maybe some of the advice was not good advice, we'll check ourselves.
we gotta like watch this one and then do our next one and be like, oh, dude, when I said that, I was like. Yeah. Oh, completely wrong. But yeah, dude, this was awesome. I really, really appreciate it. It's gonna be a great thing. And to any young professional, if Dillon's reaching out to you, like, do this.